With the success of Ridge Racer on the PS1, a game that showcased the true capabilities of the PS1, it should come with no surprise that Namco wanted to make a sequel, and the sequel was called Ridge Racer Revolution. Namco wanted the game to be more in-depth than its predecessor by adding new features and many as possible. And then December 3rd, 1995 in Japan, 1 year after the release of Ridge Racer Revolution was released, and in overseas in 1996. The game was well received. Critics praised its improvements over its predecessor, in which I'll talk about it later in the review. The game also sold well in Europe, getting a platinum release in the following year. I remember playing this game for the first time using the emulator EPXC around 2007 and 2008. Yeah, remember that emulator? That was before MMRvit was even a thing, and I had tons of fun playing this game back in the day. So, does Ridge Racer Revolution still holds up? Let's find out. Just like with its predecessor, Ridge Racer Revolution offers you a chance to play an arcade game. This time it's Galaga 88, which was released in the arcades in 1987. After that, you can now choose your game mode, single race, time trial, and the new mode, free run, which is good for those who want to practice their skills. Then, you can choose your track and your car, and you're good to go, just like with its predecessor.
3, 2, 1, go!
At first glance, the gameplay of Ridge Racer Revolution didn't change at all. Your objective is to still reach in first place on every race and avoiding running out of time. However, as I said it before, the game has a lot of improvements over the original, and one of these improvements is the rear view mirror. The rear view mirror is one hell of a quality of life improvement in this game, as it helped me blocking my rival car as well as the 3 extra cars, but I'll talk about later. Another improvement in this game is the track design. This time the game has 3 tracks, 5 if you count the special tracks. Its predecessor Ridge Racer has only 1 track, with different variations. In this game, however, the 3 tracks are pretty unique, and while 3 tracks is pretty bare bones nowadays, at the time they were amazing. The novice track is pretty good for novice players who want to learn how to play the game. It has corners that are easy to take. The medium track is bigger than the novice track. This course has more tight corners to master, but other than that, it's not that difficult. The expert track is the hardest track in this game, as it has a lot of tight corners, not to mention the narrow parts of the track, and it's pretty hard to overcome, so be careful and good luck. The attention to detail in this game is much better than its predecessor. The game has more variety, like the novice track. Half the course is filled with tall trees and beaches. The medium track has a long tunnel in the middle of the course, not to mention that it has a beautiful side view, and sometimes there's a helicopter chasing you and watching you, so that's pretty awesome. And the expert course, for the most part, is filled with mountains, and the final part is filled with cities, and it looks pretty good. Just like with the previous game, Ridge Racer Revolution has 4 cars and 8 extra cars if you shoot all the monsters in the Galaga 88 minigame. The cars once again don't and never feel the same. I have nothing much else to say about the cars. The controls in this game are the same as the previous one. They are solid, so there isn't much else to say about the controls. So, you know what they say, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. After you beat the 3 main levels, you unlock the extra mode, which once again contains the reverse sections of the tracks. Not only that, but in the time trial mode, just like with the previous game, you'll race against 2 opponents. That opponent is the Devil car. However, this time he brought 2 new friends, Devil Kid car and White Angel car. These cars can be unlocked by beating the novice track, medium track, and expert track in the time trial mode. They are pretty hard to beat if you make too many mistakes, and once again, these cars will give you a head start in the second lap, and you must not make any mistakes, otherwise they will overtake you. Once you unlock them, they are pretty fast. The Devil and the Angel car are pretty good at speed and handling, whereas the Devil Kid car is good at drifting. After you complete the extra mode, you're pretty much done with the game. However, it actually unlocks the option of setting the racing time from normal, morning, evening, and night. The game also has a hidden mode called spinning mode, and as the name implies, your objective is to make some awesome drifts, like doing some 360s. This can be assessed by choosing the time trial mode on any course, and on the start of the race, hold the brake and acceleration buttons to activate this mode. This mode is interesting and fun, but I still wish that it could be unlocked by beating the entire game, but that's just my opinion. Another great feature is that you turn your car into a small car by shooting all the monsters in the minigame by using the homing laser cheat, holding L1, R1, select, down, and triangle at the same time. This mode has inspired an arcade game called Pocket Racer made by Namco, which was released in 1996 in Japan 1 year after Ridge Racer Revolution. And to put it bluntly, it's Ridge Racer for kids, as the gameplay is more simplified than its predecessors. The game has 2 special courses, but unfortunately they are only available in the multiplayer mode via link cable. These 2 special tracks are from the original Ridge Racer, and their designs are vastly improved as you can see in this video. The difficulty in Ridge Racer Revolution has improved over its predecessor, as you can choose your speed class from S, which is the slowest, to Z, which is the fastest. The class Z is pretty bonkers, as the air is pretty fast and the 4 main cars are pretty useless in the class C, especially in the novice track as there's no room for mistakes. And more often than not, you will always end up in 2nd place or even worse, unless you use the Blue Galaga car or the White Angel car. With all said and done, Ridge Racer Revolution's gameplay has a lot of improvements. The inclusion of the rear view mirror is the biggest quality of life improvement. As I said before, it helped me blocking my rival car and the 3 extra cars. Not to mention, the track design is much better as it had more variation than its predecessor, and there's more features like 2-player mode using the PS1 link cable. One thing that I forgot about in my Ridge Racer review is that it has a mirror mode. To access that mode, at the start of the race, go to the wrong way, and after hitting the wall, the course becomes mirrored. The same things applies here in Ridge Racer Revolution. In terms of graphics, they are much better than the original Ridge Racer. The attention to detail, as I said before, has improved and it has a lot of diversity. The car models have more detail, and there's no pop-up as far as I know, and the lighting in this game is pretty amazing. And for a game that was released in 1995 in Japan, it looked and still looks amazing even to this day. The soundtrack of Ridge Racer Revolution was mostly taken from Ridge Racer 2. The soundtrack was composed once again by Shinji Ozo, alongside with Nobuyoshi Sano and Nayako Saso. The music is pretty awesome. Some of the tracks are remixed versions of the original ones. For instance, Rare Hero 2 and Speedster Overheat are remixed versions of Rare Hero and Speedster. The music in general packs a lot of adrenaline to it, and I like it a lot. The sound effects are decent for the most part, the drifting sounds are much better, and the engine sounds didn't change at all, but no problem. The announcer has more voice lines than the previous game. Sometimes he will annoy you when you are behind your rival, or he will praise you for your cornering skills. You can still use your music CD to listen to your own soundtrack in the game. However, unlike its predecessor, only the last course played is loaded into the PS1 memory, so to switch courses, the game CD needs to be inserted again before loading the next track. Overall, the music and sound effects are much better for the most part. The music has more life and adrenaline than its predecessor. That's not to say the music in Ridge Racer is bad. It's good, but not as awesome as Ridge Racer Revolution's soundtrack. So what's my final verdict on Ridge Racer Revolution? To be honest, pretty damn good. Ridge Racer Revolution outshined its predecessor in every possible way. Everything that could have been improved from the original game was improved. It has a lot of quality of life improvements, such as the inclusion of rear view mirror, and it controls, well, nothing changed, it's still pretty good. It has more cars, extra moves, and so on. You can still buy this game on Amazon for $2. And trust me, you'll get your money's worth when you buy this, because it's an amazing cop-team racing game on the PS1. Good job, Namco, you deserve a pat on the back for creating one of the best racing games on the PS1. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked this video, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more updates. Thank you for your support, guys, and I'll see you next time.